Yeah. We are live right here. Tim Ewing.
How you doing?
About to get it going right here on the SL Digital Media. He's going to take us on his walk. Let me get this Instagram going also. SL Digital Media platform on Instagram. And of course, Scarfo Live Facebook. Tim Ewing is our special guest today. He's here to talk about the Kindred Awards, the 10th Annual Kindred Awards, Saturday, June the 21st from 12 to 4 p.m. at the Siloam Baptist Church, 1329 Willow St, Norristown, PA. So we're going to talk about that tonight, along with he's done radio before. So we're going to talk about his career and what he's doing now. It's another one right here on SL Digital Media. Let me turn that off right there. Lamar popped up early.
Yes,
He's
sir.
right there. Lamar Bryan.
What's up, Lamar?
There he goes. Tim Ewing is here. I met Tim through Lamar. Lamar had an event. It was incredible. All right, Tim. You've had a radio show.
Yes.
And you have this 10th Annual Kindred Award, June 21st. So I'm going to pass you the mic and take us on your journey.
Well, basically, I had always knew that music was something that was important. When I was 5 years old, I started learning how to play the violin. My family was very musical, so music has always been a big influence. So growing up, like that was my life. Like I could listen to any song and within a second, I could tell you the name of the song, the name of the artist, I could tell you the key signature, the beats per minute. Like that was just God's ability to give me that love and that just insight into music. And as I grew and started to, try to figure out my plans for my career and whatnot, like I felt a call into youth ministry and I felt a call into radio. And so I went to school for communications and broadcasting and for youth ministry. And then I also had a music minor as well, because I wanted to kind of incorporate all of that into what I was doing with my life. And basically I did youth ministry for over a decade and was really, making a difference in the lives of young people. But then I got married and had a bunch of kids right away, and things started to get a little more complicated where youth ministry full time just wasn't something that I could continue to do effectively. And so that's when I started to have conversation with God about what I needed to do next, because with having so many little ones and the dynamics of the family life, like I still felt called to do ministry, but I didn't know exactly how to continue to do it effectively. And that's when the idea of combining my radio ministry from when I was in college and my love for music and my background in music and my love for youth ministry and combine it all into one. And so that's when Kindred was kind of formed, where I would still do the ministry, but on a smaller scale. I basically would partner with local artists in the tri-state area, and I would just go into local parks. I would go into schools. I would go to churches or wherever I would have an opportunity. I would just set up and let the music do the talking. And people would whoever was at that place at the time would come and hear the music. And then we'd have the opportunity to share the message of the gospel of Christ through that platform and through that music. And as I started to partner with these artists, I kind of got a heart for where they were coming from. And a lot of them were not signed. They didn't have a huge record label following or any kind of like real big support. So a lot of them were doing it on their own and they were feeling discouraged. And then that's when God pricked my heart to do something for the local artists. And that's where the idea of the Kindred Awards began. And it was a fight in the beginning because I had never done an award show. I'd never been to an award show. And I really didn't feel qualified to do something of that capacity. But God kept saying, if you trust me, if you follow my lead, I'll take care of everything. And I'll guide you every step of the way. And year one, on a Woman of Prayer, I just kind of emailed some local artists that I felt were super deserving, that were doing amazing things in the community through music and ministry. And I said, if I held an award show, would you be interested in attending? And would you want this to be something that that I put on, and I got a resounding yes, let's go. And so on Faith, I did a bunch of research on, what award shows kind of look like. I, watched all the major ones, just kind of took notes on what, their structure was. And then based off of that, I kind of made my own script and kind of customized it the way that I felt God was leading, and made it something that I felt comfortable that I could pull off. And year one went off so well that everybody was like, so we're doing this again next year. And I'm just like, well, let's see what God has. And I continued to pray about it. And God kept saying, keep going, year 2, year 3, year 4. And here we are, year 10, and we're still going strong. And it's a testimony to God's faithfulness, because if it was on my own strength, we would have been done at year 1, because it's hard, because a lot of the majority of the work is falling on my shoulders to prepare the script, to do all the editing, to contact all the artists, to provide, all the different things that go into the award show. It's been 99.9% me. So on my own strength, it would have been done year 1, but God's given me the strength, and it's through the encouragement and support of the music and the ministry of the artists that have kept me going as well, because there's been so many times that I wanted to quit, and then I pop on a song, and then boom, I'm right back to where I need to be, and I'm grounded, and I'm back to, grinding and doing what I'm called to do.
Absolutely. A lot of people don't understand that some people are assigned to certain things. And whether people want to come to that conclusion, if a person, like you, when you was doing it, you were consistent. What changed it? Family life. Okay. Responsibility of your family was very significant. And remember, you are the catalyst as the male. You're the alpha in your family, and your kids have to see that. So that was a judgment that you had to make. So
Correct.
there's nothing wrong with that. If things aren't financially fitted for you, you have to figure out a way to financially get yourself rolling first, and then see how you can work that in. Because you're talking family life now. So people don't realize, if you ain't got no family, you got plenty of time. But if you got kids and you rolling and you're watching them grow up, that's a significant thing to be in their life. So that was a tremendous thing for you to make that sacrifice. But as you can see, you still love, participating with people. You love being around people, to even if you're just an encouragement. That's where you're locked in right now.
Right.
But your awards is coming. You still are panning that out. And how has that been for you? This is your 10th annual. And I do know economy has a lot to do with how things roll, So how has that been for you through the 10 years? Has the revenue slowed up considerably, or are you doing all right and then boom, it can go down in 1 year?
Well, it's definitely always been a trial and error, and kind of learning from your mistakes and kind of figuring out things as you go. Because in the very beginning, I had no clue what I was doing. But each year, I built upon the things that I had done in the past and figured out what worked and what was kind of not working, and then kind of just figuring out how to tinker it a little bit and how to change things up and how to keep it fresh, keep it, something that is consistent and that continues to put on a high quality event, because I never want to put on a subpar production, because I always believe that you only have one shot to make an impression. So you always want to put the best of the best in terms of, anything, especially when it comes to the ministry. And God has always provided the finances, though, it's always been, pretty much just basically I would give it enough just to cover the costs. But each year has been a walk in faith, and God has always delivered. So, I always trust every year that the money's going to come, and it always does. And it can be stressful, but I don't worry about that, because God is, Jehovah Jireh. He's my provider, and he's always going to provide. And if if it's not meant to be, then he's not going to continue to give me the inspiration and the motivation to keep doing it if he's not going to do what he's promised to do. And he's a God that doesn't make mistakes, and he's not going to tell me something that's not true. So that's kind of why I keep doing it and why I keep striving, because it's never been about me. It's never been my ministry. It's always been God's project. And I'm just kind of keeping up with him. So that's kind of the way that I run everything when it comes
That's
to
that's how you putting it together. Is basically you're walking on faith, basically.
Correct.
Walking on faith. It's still in you to deliver. And there's nothing wrong with that, because it's going to be a big event for you. Every time you do it, it's a big event for you.
It is.
Because it's testimonial that you can go on and keep it going. And financing right now is really becoming an issue more and more each day. Food, expensive. And if you got a family, you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It's totally different when you're feeding you and a wife. When you got 2 and 3 kids, and you know how they eat,
Mm-hmm.
they eat more than you. It's been very challenging. It's been a top of the year thing, and things are, not looking very good right now financially for most people. Where do you stand in that right now? Or
It's always been a challenge, because as I grow and as more people, catch the vision and see the bigger picture of the ministry, we went from having, a small venue to now we need a venue that can hold between 300 and 500 people, and it keeps growing and growing. So eventually the money will have to, come somewheres in a bigger amount than what I've been previously getting, because I've been pretty much doing it all myself. So I cut a lot of corners, and I've been, taking the brunt of it, so that way I don't have to spend more money on outsourcing it, which I'm fine with. But that's always been, my biggest struggle is to have that venue consistently. But this year, Nicole Ray Skinner said, our church would love to have you. We'll take care of, everything. Just bring the ministry, and just let us bless you, and let us be able to have our church be available to you. So that was a huge, burden off my back, because when I was at this point last year, I was like still scrambling to find a venue. So the fact that I knew going in before, everything, that I had a place, was a huge relief.
Well, I'll tell you what do you think is your greatest accomplishment in doing what you're doing? Is it just the fact that keep it going, or what is your greatest accomplishment right now through your anniversary?
I think the biggest accomplishment is the fact that I am trying to, I guess, what's how I want to say this, trying to foster a sense of community and a sense of unity. And I believe that the way that I focus on trying to not be an award show by being an award show, like it's technically an award show, but the bigger picture is about coming together, providing encouragement to everybody, not excluding you because you're a rap artist or because you're a gospel artist and you're not, a mainstream or whatever, but trying to bring that community piece where, we're all part of the body of Christ. We're all family. We're all important. And each one of us has gifts and talents, and we all use our gifts in such a way that together as a whole, we're accomplishing great things for the kingdom. And I think that's what I'm most proud of, is the fact that we're a family, and that there's no segregation, there's no diversity, like there's no I don't see colors, like we're all the same. And that's the thing that I always try to push and stress every year, is that unity piece, that we're all part of the body of Christ, and we all need to come together to support each other, whether we're black, white, red, green, blue, purple, it doesn't matter. We're all part of God's family. We're all part of God's kingdom. We need to celebrate each other and come together like that.
Absolutely. But unfortunately, we can't get everyone to agree with that. So the only thing you do is surround yourself with the people who understand the notion. that understands the mantra, because that's the only way it works. I do believe that if enough people go in the right direction, we can overthrow the bad in that, because eventually you'll weed them out. They won't be around because they won't have any leverage. All of it is about leverage. If we can leverage positivity like they leverage negativity, how about this? It might even get to a point where we got to form our own state, and that just might be the scenario, if you ask me, because there's some people that don't want to be around the calamity. They don't. They want to go to work, go home, be with their family. From time to time, people will get together, and that's the only way we can communicate, if we get together. When we don't get together, we don't know what's going on with each other.
And I want to try to break down those stereotypes and those barriers, because I feel like it's 2025 now, and like I'll go to an all black concert and I'll be the only white person there, and I'm like, well, why can't we have more white people or other ethnicities coming in and supporting the black artist? Or like I'll go to like a white concert and like there won't be very many other races, and it's like, just because it may not be your people per se, like why can't we all just come and support each other and open up our horizons and see that there's more to life than just our own selves? And I think when we all can support each other in that way, then we can realize that we're more similar than we're different, and trying to break down those divisions amongst races and amongst cultures, and just trying to just come alongside each one. Like that's what I try to do, like to try to step out and say, there should be no reason for us to segregate ourselves.
But guess what? We're never going to all come together. That's not going to happen, because some people just have whatever they think. That's just what it is. And we can drill it to them, but they're going to drill it right back to us the way they are. That's just the way it goes. Even with religion, that's the same thing. One going to say this, the other one going to say that. All right, we're not going to get nowhere with this. So it's always going to be a disagreement. Now, the dumbest statement of all time is, we can agree to disagree. That might be the dumbest statement I ever heard in my life. We got to agree. We can't be just sitting there. I don't agree. I don't agree. We agree. That don't make no sense. That don't make no sense to me, But unfortunately, I think the only thing we can do, it has to be some sort of separatism that could change them possibly to want to come over to where, wait a minute now, I don't think I want to be around, an area where I got to keep looking around, keep looking. You want to go somewhere where you can walk down the street without even looking back, looking sideways, that way, forward. Mm-hmm. And the mannerism and the etiquette will be there. And guess what else heals everything? Just speaking to people. Mm-hmm. Hey, how you doing, miss? Good to see you. You still, doing your communication. See, the communication left, I would say, into the 90s, early to 2000. But because if you go back, we should pay attention to elderly people. We should pay attention. We should listen to other people's parents, because they was guiding us in the right direction. Go to school. Da-da-da-da-da. Don't do that. It's different now. It's totally different. Hoods are harder than ever now. More guns, more problems. And the crazy part is, when the judge put the hammer in the air, by the time he come down, man, their life won't be the same. Now they really in there with a lot of people that got a lot of problems. So it's all about decision. I don't know if we're going to ever put it all together, but I think we can put people together who are on the same accord. That's the only way it's going to work.
Right. And that's why I try to have this every year as a reminder that we need to stay connected. We need to focus on trying to foster those relationships and to give encouragement, because when you give encouragement, you get encouragement as well. And that's when the change really happens.
Positivity equals positive reaction. Negativity equals negative reaction. It's just like the magnet, positive and the negative. It's like this. It ain't gonna never come together like that, you know. Mm-hmm. But there are people that want to do the right things. There is people that want to do that, hands down. They definitely want to do positive things. Those are the people we must focus on and get them to come together and get them to come out. And maybe if the numbers are in mass numbers, maybe you can turn a couple people or converge them into something positive. But if they walk out the door and most of their friends and this, that, and the other is all about what the world is telling them to do, it ain't gonna work out. It ain't gonna work out for them. You know, so we definitely need a little bit of separatism if we want this to work. We're gonna need it. And guess what? I believe there are all colors out there that could come together and completely be positive. I believe that. I've met many people of all cultures, from the hood to the good. So, and you can hear the conversations with people and know where they're coming from. I know you recognize that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You recognize
every year we always, all the artists say one of the things that makes the Kindred Awards unique is the fact that there's so many different varied backgrounds and styles and genres and all walks of life that all come together through the door. And for one night, we all are just having a good time together and just listening and enjoying each other's gifts and talents. And that's what makes it special, because there's no agenda. It's just all about community and about loving on people and spending that time together to encourage and to support. And that's another reason why I love, being able to have this opportunity to present this platform, to have that be, something that people can look forward to come together and to
listen. I get it.
Feel like everybody belongs and not feel like they're an outsider, and that.
Yeah, I get it.
They can contribute and not feel like they're not heard or not seen, but they're having a voice and they have a place that they can shine and be in the forefront of.
I get it. I get it 100%. But it would definitely be a challenge. It's already challenging. But when y'all throw y'all events, I can admit, I saw it. I saw Lamar event, and that was a positive day in that room. And I mean, I saw all ages laughing, getting along. People were singing every song they sang.
Mm-hmm.
That means they were all on the same accord.
Yep.
So it can happen. It can definitely happen, because I just saw it. I just saw it myself, and but we need bigger. It got to get bigger and bigger and bigger. You want to get it to the point where they say, yo, every Sunday they getting 1,500 people showing up just in harmony. All coaches talking, everybody, because when we don't speak, and we don't talk to each other, we'll never know each other's culture. It always be that line of all cultures, because we've been taught from our own cultures to be like that, you know? Mm-hmm. So we have to find people, just people, forget the color. We have to find people that want to move in that atonement.
It's one step at a time. You build a platform and you invite people, and eventually you hopefully get more people to come, and then more people catch it and see, oh, this is something really, really positive. And then it's like a snowball effect to where all the positivity just rubs off, and it's a major impact, and it's life-changing. And that's the bigger picture, is to have that continuous opportunity for life-changing moments of encouragement and growth.
Absolutely. And it's going to take a lot of work. It really is. But the ones who are on the accord, it's not going to take that long. But we do got to figure out a way to put it all together and show some crazy numbers. And just like they can throw a cookout and get 700-800 people at a cookout, we should kind of show that we can do 700-800 or even 1,000. It could be a cookout, but the music and everything is positive. The air, we have to change the airwaves. And then if people can see, wow, they did it with this kind of music, you know, you could showcase a lot of these artists in with a DJ that could play their music, and it could be harmony.
Mm-hmm.
It could be absolute harmony, you know. So I'm with it. You know, I would love to see that. I would love to see that myself.
And every nominee that I nominate are just phenomenal in terms of their musical abilities and their songwriting skills. Like, any one of them could be heard on a major radio station, and like their songs would totally like transform the way that the airwaves are. But a lot of times, just because they're not signed, like they don't get an opportunity, which is another thing that I try to fight for, is to provide opportunities for the people that don't have that voice to be able to have that voice. And when I had my radio show, I would always, play the people that nobody else had ever heard of. And I always had that inkling of, I knew who had that it factor before they would even know. Like, there's been so many people that I've discovered that went on to be, household names. And that's not saying that I'm this great person, but that's just God's gift that he's given to me. So like, I try to find people that have that special quality, that unique gift that can change lives through their music. And those are the people that I push to the forefront, and I showcase, and I nominate, and I encourage and strengthen, because when they sing, when they share their gifts, like, they change lives. And that's the impact that the Kindred Awards also has, is that, you can come and you can know that any artist that's on the nominee list is phenomenal, and their music is going to bless you in some way, and you're going to get something from it. And it's going to be powerful and impactful and beneficial if you give them a chance to listen.
Absolutely. I believe it, though. One thing about me, I definitely believe that this can be done. This can be done. You guys are kind of showing with the functions that you're doing that you're capable of bringing people out. You already have the capability. Now, let's get some more numbers. Let's do something to where the city is paying you some attention. Because even with all of that going on down at city halls, they can't even put that together. They get the grants, they get this, they get that, they get this. But man, they gotta put that we gotta change the airwaves. The airwaves control everything. Mm-hmm. So positive music, The artists are coming out you put the live band out there, get them going, and then it's just a family day. Now the whole family can show up. Now we can bring our grandparents without hearing any cussing in the music.
Mm-hmm. And that's what the award show has been from the beginning. It's been always a family friendly event where young and old can come together, and it's a community wide. We invite anybody that wants to come and be a part, whether you're a nominee or you're a friend of a nominee, or if you go to the church that the nominee attends, or even if you don't even go to church, we welcome everybody. And we want it to be a place that you can go for encouragement, for a good time, for great music, for that fellowship, for that community piece. It's a family piece. And that's why we do what we do. We want it to be something that reaches the community and makes an impact in the community, and lets people know that we're here and that, we have things that we can offer you.
Absolutely. And guess what? The more you think about it, the closer you're getting. The only thing, well, your events prove you can get people to show up. Your events are already talking to y'all, so it's not a fact that y'all can't reach and touch people. The key is to get more people to buy in to the airwave thing. Because, it could be people might be on some, wow, I don't know if that'll make us like it. You got to change it, So y'all already are doing it. Y'all already have crowds. Y'all can bring out pretty good numbers. Of course, y'all add the food to it. And of course, food always brings people together. That's always and it can be lucrative for you. Just off food. So I would say, keep doing what y'all doing. And I think the more and more y'all do it, it's only going to get better.
Mm-hmm. Every year,
and if you don't, you're going to believe it. If y'all still believe, it's going to come to light. You can't allow something to stop it. I don't care if an event comes up and only 10 people show up, but you got 300 the last time. You never get discouraged, and you go do what you got to do. Keep going. It's the same thing with artists. And no matter how old you are, got to keep going. If that is going to help you, if that is your therapeutic, internal, that you feel as though will keep you going, never stop something that's going to keep you going in a positive, way. Never. Never stop, man. So I'm going to tell y'all, never stop what you're doing. Never stop. Keep pushing. Keep going hard, because you're doing something positive. You're making a difference every time y'all do something and it goes the right way. If y'all doing anything for the right way, please don't stop. Keep pushing. Consistency is always the key. There's the word right there, consistency. That's the word. You must be consistent. You can't take no for an answer. I can tell you right now, when I first started doing the podcasting, numbers wasn't there. It was a hit or miss. But that was only because I realized it's a popularity thing. Who's ever popular? That's how the numbers move. But I've seen it go 25, 30, 40 likes, And then I see it go all the way down to four likes, you know? So I know about being consistent. I know what it takes. It takes a lot of nerve. And sometimes it's not going to be the way you want it. But you can't get discouraged because guess what? If I can get 3 to 4 people on here, right? And they can hear me talk positive, it's a win for me.
Mm-hmm.
We're winning. We're winning. If we can get 2 people to listen to it and be like, man, I never saw it like that, or we can rearrange or change the way their mind is and make it positive. We winning. If you could change one person in this lifetime, God never told you how many you had to, change or affect. He did say, we got to do something right, He did say that. Believe it or not, that's more than some people would ever. They'll mislead. Remember, it's more people out here misleading than leading. It's more. And they really don't listen to the people that lead. They really don't. So if y'all can get a certain amount of people and y'all can speak on that microphone, y'all got power. The mic is power. Good or bad. Learn that from podcasting.
Yep.
We have all the technology in the world in our hands. But what are we doing? It's a lot of people putting a lot of junk in the air. But it's not that many people putting the good in the air. But there are some. And that's the balance right there. All of us don't agree with negativity. So I'm with y'all. I'm on the positive side. So that's why we on here. We on here. I met you that day. Said, yeah, come on. Let's talk. And believe it or not, the camera means nothing to me.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm talking to you right in your face. The camera's just on because we're holding a conversation.
Right.
But
it's funny because I don't like to be in the spotlight. Like I like to be behind the scenes and like let everybody else get the accolades. But God has kind of like nudged me and kind of molded me into being the person that kind of has to be the face of it. And so it's like that do I really have to be up here? But I do it because I feel like that's what God wants me to do in order to share the vision and to get the bigger picture out there. So I have that dual, like, I really don't like to be in the spotlight, but I do it because I have to.
Listen, you made sure you came on. I forgot it was Monday. You ain't know it's Tuesday. No, it's gotta be Monday. And but you see what I did? Went right on my phone, pulled over, got something up, being consistent. I didn't let the interview. No, I ain't want to push it to next week. I got different people coming on next week. So it's always about figuring it out, making it happen, because I knew it was going to be a positive conversation. I knew that. Truth, people glorify drama, but don't know how to act to positivity. Of course. Of course. But it's a different time, different era. It's a split in religion. Whereas though back in the day was what it was. We were more on the same accord back in the day. Now, never know. You never know. Well, look, it's been a great interview. we was able to talk, talk your talk. Let me get that info. Let me put that back out there again. Let me go back here and read this real quick. The 10th Annual Kindred Award, Saturday, June 21st from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. at the Siloam Baptist Church, 1329 Willow Street, Norristown, PA. That's 1329 Willow Street, Norristown, PA. And it'll be the 10th Annual Kindred Awards, hosted by yours truly, right here. Tim Ewing.
There's going to be a ton of live, amazing performances, like over 20 performances. There's a special local legend tribute to Zach Williams in One Accord. And it's just going to be so incredibly encouraging to just come and celebrate. There's 22 categories from all styles of music. So there's something for everybody. And everybody's invited. And within the next week, I'm going to be releasing the Eventbrite tickets. So if you go to our Facebook page or if you go to our ministry page, you can find that link and get your own ticket to be part of the experience.
You heard it from him, Tim Ewing, 10th Annual Kindred Awards, going down at the Siloam Church in Norristown. Make sure you support them. It's going to be a whole bunch of performances, a total positive impacted event from 12 to 4. Make sure you support. Make sure you come through. And we'll check y'all out. Thanks for coming on and continue to push for excellence.